Hey, David T.S. Wood here, and welcome to my Extra Mile. Today's show is incredible. It's very, very short, and there's one exercise, that's it, one exercise to learn that radically changed the lives of Allan and Lari Hilzinger, who are now multiple six-figure-a-year income earners. So enjoy the show. Please subscribe, share with friends, push the notifications, push the like. Oh, it's so much work. But also, get involved with the conversation. Please leave a comment, and I will definitely see you on the other side. You know, Al, Larry, I believe this is going to be one of those little tiny compact shows that this one tip I think will radically change people's lives. And you guys sort of found it meandering through life and discovered this thing called the power of focus. Larry, I'm going to start with you. Because in the old days, before you were, multiple six-figure-a-year income earners, your focus was quite different, right? You focused on a lot of the challenges, the problems, the things that weren't going right. Talk us through where your mind was at, before you became, really, I'm going to say, to have the beautiful life that you lead, where you have the money, the relationships, the health, you kind of have it all, and you're still growing it, but you have this wonderful life and wonderful relationship. Talk a little bit about where was your mind at and what was life like when your mind was all over the map?
Yeah. So David, it was exactly what you described just there, that I was really caught up in my current reality at that time, So if I had financial concerns, if I had relationship issues, if I had struggles at work, I was so busy trying to figure out how to deal with that particular thing, as opposed to focusing on exactly what I wanted and what I saw as a vision and a beautiful space to be in. I think I did that for a really long time too, and I was thinking that by working here, I'd be able to get there, yet I had no idea what there looked like because I'm spending all my time thinking about how to get out of this current situation. And it's a very dangerous place to be in because it just spirals, because the more I focused in this area, the worse it actually got. And I could never get over here. I didn't even have time to define what here looked like what my ultimate goal actually was. And so, that spiral impact was, impacting my life. And I just wanted to give up, actually, because I'm stuck here in what I didn't want, and constantly thinking about getting over, I want to be over there, but I was here the whole time.
Well, and Al, I just want to sort of broaden the question there. When you look at the average person, and you have how big is your team currently? Your global team?
26,000, I think.
So you're working. You have 26,000 people that you have leveraged income from, which is unbelievable. And you're helping them create either health or part-time incomes or full-time incomes, and that's why you're a multiple six-figure-a-year income earner. But when we look at the average person, their reality really creates their life, and so often that's why you see some people. It's like crap's always coming. It's like they're little crap magnets, right? It's like everything's always going wrong because but when you talk to them, you see that they're what's happening to them is what they think is real, and they just sort of accept it day on, day out, and day in, day out, and then they start to behave that way, and then nothing ever changes. Talk to a little bit about your observations and how you were able to sort of move yourself, because at one point you struggled. You talked about it in past shows, addicted to gambling. So you struggled with the sort of being overworked and not really having time with family, and and having a lot of chaos. So you've really been able to navigate a lot of different waters. But just talk about, for you, this idea of how you were able to shift that focus, which ended up shifting the reality and how you live, right?
Yeah, totally. I think the first part, I actually read a book which I know you love as well, called The Magician's Way by
William Wyckoff.
Yeah, and that really talked about one of the things that I got in that was, and this was when we just started our own journey in understanding money and understanding ourselves and all this kind of stuff. But one of the things I really realized was I was coming from a very negative vision. And by negative, I mean that everything that I wanted to do was I wanted to stop feeling like a bad father from not spending time with my kids. I wanted to get out of my job. I wanted to, and it was all what I was
you didn't want. Yeah.
Yeah, what I didn't want. And so that's where I was coming from. So it would just get bigger and bigger and bigger. And then once I realized that I could change my vision and what the exact opposite was. So what did I want? I wanted to spend time with my girls, with Lari and my girls. I wanted to travel the world. It wasn't that I wanted to stop working. It wasn't that I wanted to stop being a bad dad. It was, this is what I wanted to create. So even to this day, one of the things from an exercise point of view that Lari and I do every single day is we have a set of what we call choices or end results. And the way we word them is we choose the end result of, and then we list it down. So if I just randomly picked one of my daily choices to read out, it would look like this. It would say, I choose the end result of building my highly successful and profitable business empire. And so every single day we do that, we vision what that looks like, and then we get pulled towards.
So when you vision it, so just so people get the exercise, because you know me, I love exercises. I love this idea. So you get up, talk about it. Is it like 6 o'clock in the morning, 7? When do you do it? When do you do this exercise?
Yeah, so first thing in the morning. Often I'll add an extra one in at night. And the way the exercise works is we have these list of choices which we've created, and they're all positive choices. So we make sure that they're not, hey, I choose the end result of leaving my job. It's no, I choose the end result of what is it? And it's all, the list of things is all that our heart desires. So I desire to be successful in business.
Can you read us 3 or 4 of them so that people get more of a broad stroke?
Yeah, and then I can give you the exact exercise.
Yeah.
So another one I have here is I choose the end result of mastering wealth creation to fund our dream life. I choose the end result of impacting millions of people through my gift of writing and speaking. I choose the end result of a fun, adventurous, and connected relationship with Lari. I choose the end result of an open, loving, and involved relationship with Verona and Holly. So it's all end result.
That's their daughters, by the way. If you're wondering, if he doesn't have 3, he doesn't have 2 mistresses.
And then the way the exercise works is we vision so every day.
he's gonna have one tomorrow.
I'll make sure I refer to them as Verona and Holly. So we vision them every day, and then each day 1 or 2 of them.
Can I ask you a question? A clarifying question, Lari? Are yours identical? These are ones you've done together. All right, so we'll get to Lari. All right, so I'll finish this. And do you have yours available so we can hear some of yours? Okay, great.
Yeah.
And so do the vision. So it's around 30 seconds to a minute, just visualizing. And how I do it is I visualize literally the end result. Like, what is the ultimate that looks like? There's no limitations on it. There's no conditions on it. It is as crazy and as amazing and as beautiful as my mind can possibly imagine it. And then every day.
To clarify that, hold on. So to clarify that, for those of you just starting out, you may not have the ability yet to envision without restrictions. You may be like, because your negative voice is going to come in. So just to give people clarity on that one, Al, when you first started out, your vision now is so big, but when you started out before, when you were kind of like in the bustle of packing boxes in your garage and running 2 companies and running the kids, whatever, you couldn't see as big as you now. Now the vision, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And this exercise is easier because you believe it to be true. Right?
100%. You nailed it. And it has, and it continues.
Sorry for interrupting, but I want to get these people clarity. Yeah.
Because that's exactly how it's evolved. It's getting, and even when I look at just 3 months ago, and every couple of months we adjust our choices, they keep changing. And I'm like, I look at the old ones and I'm like, wow, like this, as you say, even with the extra mile, 1% every day is just making such a difference. And then what we do, so 30 seconds to a minute visualizing, and then 1 or 2 of them, we have an exercise, what we call bridging. So we will write down everything that comes up in our vision. So, if it's the one around wealth creation, where people are coming to me for wealth advice, where everything that I invest in just lands, like I'm all these, whatever the vision is, then we do a current reality. So I look and I go, what's the current reality? The current reality. And it's not always, because people sometimes, this is the challenge too, is when we come to the current reality, it's not all negative. Current reality is we earn a multiple 6-figure income. Current reality is we want to earn more. Current reality is that this business is kind of some of the investments we've got are fresh and we're unsure. Current reality is I have doubt. So we write down the current.
Current reality is my income went down because, you know, you've been through a season this season where your income has gone down, right? And so that's a current reality. So here you are, you know, striving and suddenly it's down, but by accepting the current reality, right? But not, and focusing on the vision, you're not sort of succumbing. Yeah,
we
yeah,
bring
you're
it
not,
in, we
yeah.
bring it into structure. So
Right.
it's like, and it's even just acknowledging it. You don't like, it's just acknowledging that, because the final part is that we then step back into the vision. And it's kind of like if you look at, you know, even countries, or, you know, for you, it could be looking across at the mainland, right? So it's like we step back into the vision and see everything that we saw before and look over a bridge. So the way we image it is we look back over a bridge to the current reality and just kind of ask our mind, like, what are the steps that I took to get there? And it's just one or two things that'll just, and it's amazing. It's like,
So rather explain it by giving us the example of one you've done today or yesterday, so that you can say, so here you are, you've got a vision, and then you're going to go back into the current reality, and then you're going to visualize the bridge. All right. So just lead us through the whole, so they get a whole one.
So let's just say I choose the end result of building my highly successful and profitable business empire. Sit in the vision. You're looking at it going, you know, we're making literally tens of millions of dollars. I see myself doing business deals, using money to make more money. I come back to the current reality. I look and say, you know what, we're earning multiple six figures. You know, we've had this last 12 months has been a real roller coaster in up and down within that money.
Mainly down.
Yeah, right, at times.
Yeah.
And, you know, we've got some fresh investments that we've invested our money into.
We've saved a lot of money during COVID.
Yeah. Rock COVID.
And then I step back into the vision and I look back over the bridge, and like different things will come up. So for an example, it might be an action step. So I might look at it and go, today I look at it and I see an action step. So my next action step is to, let's just say, I need to talk to more people about the money opportunity in network marketing.
Right.
That might be something. And I realize when I'm doing that, I'm like, far out. How often it comes up, and I look after it's come up, and I'm like, oh, why did that come up? And then I think to myself, gee whiz, over the last month, I've really slowed down on how much I'm talking about the financial opportunity, and I've been focusing on other things. Or it might be stop worrying about how this is going to happen and just continue taking the steps. The right people come into your business. So it's just keeping that for that one or two steps.
Great. Larry, do you want to add on this? Maybe give us a couple of yours. We only have a couple of minutes left.
Sorry, I took so much time.
No. It's perfect. I mean, she was drinking and she's like, you know, she's giving me signs, you know, she fell asleep. She fell asleep twice, you know, I mean, it's all good.
Actually, that point that he made at the end is crucial as well, David, because I see people get caught up in that a lot. They get caught up in the how, as opposed to the vision, like as opposed to, like it has to be a certain way. And even when they succeed at something, they're like, yeah, I succeeded at this, but you know what? I ended up having to do this. And like they take off the minuses. They're really caught up in the process, and it's not about the process. It's just about the end result. Like you're going for the end result, and however that happens, it happens, right? And often it doesn't happen the way that you think it's going to happen. And in fact, when we set out on a journey of financial freedom, I never, ever thought that we'd end up doing what we're doing right now. You know, I thought it was going to be a whole different thing, but I wasn't caught up in the how. And as much as along that journey, I wasn't sure about landing in my current profession, I was open to it, and it was presented in front of me. It was the next step. It seemed like the next obvious step to take. And I was really open to how that was going to unfold for me.
Yeah, you know, what's interesting is that when you have that exercises like this, you know, you do become quite magnetic and things start to show up. And because you're in the process of conditioning the mind to see the future and not question the how, right? Allow the how to look after itself, right? And so I love that. Larry, I'd love to hear though, just because any women listening, maybe just a couple of your daily step?
Yeah. So there's actually two that are pretty much universal. I think it's Robert Fritz's work originally, David, if anyone wanted to look it up. Those ones are...
Robert Fritz?
Robert Fritz, yeah. I choose the end result of living my true nature and purpose.
Love it.
It's one of those. And the other one is I choose the end result of being healthy.
Love it.
Because, you know, if you don't have your health, you have nothing anyway.
Give us a few more of yours.
Yep. So I choose the end result of a fun, loving, adventurous life with Allan. I better put him in there.
What about what about Bob and Steve?
They're next. So I choose the end result of facilitating impactful change and growth in others. I choose the end result of synergistic relationships rich in growth, fun, and love. So interestingly, actually, Allan, you know, he brings in the wealth ones in his choices, and my choices may evolve over time. But as I said before too, you know, I identified for me, I actually believe that money flows to me when I'm living my true nature and potential, and focusing on these things.
Well, hold on. You just said something there, which I love, right? And a lot of people won't pick up because it's so subtle. You believe that when you're living your true nature, that money flows. So even though it's not written down, you have a belief system which is in alignment with that. So you don't need to talk about money because your deep core belief says, when I'm living my true nature, money comes to me easily, right? Yeah. It's like me. One of my thoughts is, it's just so I can make any amount of money I want, and it's all easy. It's just easy. It's making money is the easiest thing on the planet. But I truly believe that in my core. And sometimes I pinch myself thinking, I really just make that much money, right? So just as we get to the end of the show, I'm going to hand it back to you. What's one last thought, just in alignment with this exercise? Maybe a thought, maybe something to be aware of, or something that as people start this, you know, what's a final takeaway
of this activity, or just...
Well, just something you want to share with people listening, because they may start this and, you know, bump their head the first time and just quit on it, right? I don't know. What's your thoughts?
This is one of the things that I learned from a mentor. So William Whitecloud again, it's one of the things that I really stuck when he taught this, and it's with focus. I think of this every single time. And
is that one of my bands?
It is. It's one of your bands, Woody. And it's got, look at this. Authentic.
Yeah.
Great one to use.
Well, you just held it up and then you talked about William. I love William, but it's just like, no, carry on.
So what I look at is we've got the end result. Well, probably people are on the other side, right? They're looking at the camera. So we've got the end result that we're going towards, and we've chosen an end result, and we've got a current reality. So that's kind of our rubber band. One end is the end result. One end is the current reality, and it's stretching. And what we believe is that if we hold our vision and our focus on the end result, that it's structurally impossible for us not to get there, because we're creating that tension. The only way not to get there is to quit on the end result. Right. Because if you hold that structure, it's just scientific.
Let me just say something, because people are visual and some people listen by podcast. Allan's got a black and white band with the word authentic on, and between his two thumbs, and he's pulling his right thumb, which is the vision. And as he's pulling that, the left thumb is moving towards it. And so that's what he's talking about. As we focus on the vision, and the left thumb represents himself and Lari, they're being pulled because that tension's between them. I just want to make sure that people can get that visual. Yeah.
And it's a real positive tension. And that's what we focus on, is that, and that's why we really learned not to have the negative vision as well, because if you have a negative tension, you just get pulled more toward that negative.
Right. Well, and the reason I gave those bands out at the program, if you want to turn it around so people can see it as well, look at the other side, half black, half white. At every single moment, you know, we get to choose. Are we focused on the negative? Are we focused on the positive? And what I say is the reason the word authentic is because that's what you're talking about, Lari, is being in your, what do you call it?
True nature.
Your true nature, which is your totally authentic, beautiful self. With that being said, Lari, any last thoughts? We're really close, a few seconds here.
It is just hold that end vision. You don't change that end vision. That's it. People give up on them sometimes, and it's like, no, you just hold that tension. Tension is a good thing. Actually, that's my big thing is tension is a really good thing. Just hold that in.
Well, and again, tension and not tension in the shoulders. That's not a good thing. But she's
not anxiety.
But that tension. Yeah. But the tension is something, when you have a vast vision, right? That's scary for a lot of people, right? I do want to say, I thank you. This has been beautiful. I think the exercise is really, really beautiful. The visuals are beautiful. And remember, those of you listening right now, it's that 1%. That one little tiny addition. That's why it's called My Extra Mile. And everyone you're listening to has gone the extra mile, but they've done it through tiny, incremental, daily, consistent steps. So, hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget to share it. Get involved with the comments. Get involved with the conversation. Ask questions. Direct us. What do you want to hear from? And we'll definitely see you on the other side.